What's up, guys? It's your boy Colonel, and I'm only making this video, right? This string of videos, actually. It's gonna be probably a handful of videos that I'm gonna put into a playlist. But the only reason I'm making these string of videos is so I can have it on wax that I made these videos. Not just that I told people, not just that I tweeted. I want it on wax that I had these videos. I made these videos, and I'm showing them to the actual people who have the ability to make a change in Madden. And what all I can do is just make the video, give them my input. Now, these string of videos is going to be talking about, the offensive line blocking in Madden. And in my opinion, if everything in these string of videos is actually followed and implemented in Madden, you will never have to touch offensive line blocking ever again. It will be perfect. It will be able to handle everything that comes at it. Also, it will be balanced with the defense to where the defense actually can get wins as well. You don't have to game the system like we've been gaming the system for the past 7 years to get victories with a pass rush and blitzing in Madden. If everything is followed, there will be an actual chess match in a battle of wits in Madden. Now, all of this originated, some of y'all weren't playing Madden at the time. Madden 12, in my opinion, was the start of the downfall of the offensive line because everyone complained about the quote-unquote nanos in Madden 11. And for Madden 12, they pretty much, tried to make the offensive line react to any kind of pressure that was thrown at it. And then you would see after every single patch, like now, every single decent blitz, they would patch it so the offensive line has logic to stop it without the user having to do anything. But so pretty much all that started with Madden 12, and in my opinion, it's made the game so much worse. So just follow the string of videos I'm going to be showing you, and this is just the intro. So just follow these videos, and you'll see every point that I make and why I'm making it, and how it will make the game better as far as an offensive line protection standpoint. It's your boy Colonel. Check out the next video. So here is my first and most important fix that I would implement to the offensive line for pass protection. If you guys don't know, the pass protection in Madden, for the stock offensive line, has multiple different real life concepts in it. You have your man protection, you have your zone protection, which happens automatically, man, zone. You have combo blocks, which is like man and zone principles, and you have another different type of pass protection, which I don't actually know how to name because it goes by a few different names, where like the sender, like he'll step back and he'll actually scan around and pick up a free rusher. So there's like 3 to 4 different types of actual real life pass protection schemes implemented into Madden for stock offensive line play. What I am advocating is to get rid of all of that stockness. What I want the stock offensive line to play is big on big protection. It's very simple. It is very simple, guys. Big on big protection means pretty much, hey, fat men block fat men. It's a little bit deeper than that, but pretty much on the surface, it's fat men block fat men. For an example, what we have here shown we have like a 4-3 shown, and we have just a spread formation. The defensive end will be blocked by my left tackle. Left guard takes care of the defensive tackle over him. The center and right guard they're double teaming fat man in front of him. The defensive end is blocked by my right tackle. And the key to big on big blocking is actually IDing the mic. Now, forget the actual ID the mic feature. I'll talk about that in another video in this segment. But just for the basics of a stock big on big protection, we already know for every defense that's shown, the computer automatically IDs a linebacker for ID the mic. Nothing has to change with that at all. For this example, it's homeboy right there on the left. So whoever is automatically ID'd that pretty much means in real life principles, the offensive line handles them. The offensive line takes care of that protection. The running back doesn't have to worry about that. The offensive line handles whoever is ID'd by the mic. And the other guy that isn't ID'd, anyone else that isn't ID'd by the mic, has to be handled by anyone other than the 5 fat men that are blocking. That simple. So that's pretty much what I'm advocating, a big on big blocking system. And you don't even have to change anything from, the automatic ID to mic. That's fine. That can be automatic. It doesn't matter. The pluses in it, it's so simple. It's so easy to understand. You can teach this in literally a 1-minute video in Madden showing, okay, this is what our core blocking scheme is. This is what it is. This is what it does. There should be no confusion on it. It's a 1-minute video teaching that. So simple. Anyone can learn it. There are literally middle schoolers that are executing. Not just they don't know, they know and they execute. They execute big on big blocking every freaking Thursday when middle schoolers play football. So it's very simple to use. And the pluses on it is it's very simple. And the plus on the defensive side is it doesn't have to be gamed. It has its own built-in weaknesses. So for example, this is a 5-man protection, right? Homeboy on the left of the screen, he's ID'd. That means that this guy right here, there's no one accounting for him if it's a 5-man protection. No one's accounting for him in a 5-man protection. No one's accounting for him in a 5-man protection. You don't have to game the system. If you actually make the right, call on defense, they're coming free screaming at the quarterback. And either the running back has to handle those guys or the quarterback has to handle them with, throwing hot or however he figures out how he needs to handle them, throwing a screen or whatever. So it's perfectly balanced on offense and on defense. It's very simple to execute. That's what my first thing that I would do is I would add strictly big on big blocking to stock offensive line play. Alright, for number 2, we're moving on to number 2. So if you don't remember, number 1 was getting rid of the offensive line that adjusts to everything automatically after the snap. Get rid of that and just put a stock offensive line that is big on big protection. So for number 2, we have to ensure that ID the mic works. Not only does it work how it should work in real life. How ID the mic works in real life is I kind of went over it in part 1, but how ID the mic works in this hypothetical situation, fat men take fat men, and they take the guy that is ID'd as the mic. That has to happen. I don't care how it happens, it just has to happen. Whoever is ID'd has to be handled by the fat man. I don't want my running back taking the guy that's ID'd as the mic. The fat man should be taking the guy that is ID'd as the mic. Point blank. For one, it adds security. You know what's going on in pass protection as the offensive player. You will always understand what's going on because you're telling them exactly what you're expecting to happen. As long as you understand the very simple concept of big on big blocking and you understand what's supposed to happen with ID to mic, you should already know what your protection can and can't handle. The pro for the defense is you have to switch it up. You have to change things up. You have to play with what kind of blitzes you're running. So it adds variety. It adds accountability on both sides of the ball. A correct ID to mic feature adds so much to the game. Alright, let's move on to number 3. And for number 3, let's talk slide protection. In my humble opinion, slide protection is fine at its base. It is perfect at its base. You just need to work on, targeting with linemen, actually targeting the guy that they're supposed to block. in slide protection. But aside from that, I'm cool with slide protection. It works as intended. And the reason it's important that slide protection is in the game is because, in my opinion, I don't want, going back to number one, I don't want super offensive lines. Super offensive lines that automatically do a zone protection, a man protection, combo protections. I want a big on big man protection. And to go along with that man protection, have the ability to slide protect, because slide protect is the zone protection. So I feel like both of them go hand in hand. You don't need a super offensive line because you have everything handled. So slide protection at its base form, as it's already implemented in the game, is fine. Just work on targeting. That's it. Point blank. Slide protection. All right. For number 4, let's take a look at this play real quick. You figure it out after you look at this play. All right, that's enough. All right, take a knee. Let's go to the replay, and we'll figure out what number 4 is. It's pretty obvious. You'll see what I did. Let's look at the offensive line. Let's look at homeboy right here. What happened? I blocked my tight end. We need to fix tight end blocking. That is a must. That needs to happen. I don't care if you don't worry about anything else. This is a must. So I block my tight end, right? He is now one-on-one with that team's best rush lineman. Why would I want my tight end to be one-on-one with that team's best rush lineman? If I wanted him one-on-one, I would have just subbed him in at offensive tackle and have him go one-on-one there. When I'm blocking my tight end, I feel like everyone feels this way. I want my tight end to double team along with Fat Man 73, my offensive tackle, and to double team this defensive end in this particular look. That's what I want to happen. Why? Because guess what? It's not too much to ask, because if my tight end was in a route, Fat Man 73 would be blocking him single blocking anyway. So if I block my tight end, I want both of them to work on him. Easy enough to ask, right? Now, that's what I would want to have happen. Now let's say, for example, this guy would have moved down. No, forget about that. Let's say they're double teaming on that defensive end, and then this guy comes in rushing in this area late. I want them to come off the combo block, and the guy that's inside, Fat Man 73, pick him up. That's what I want to happen. If they're combo blocking the defensive end, and this guy, an outside rusher, comes from depth, I want Fat Man 73 to take over this defensive end block, and then I want my tight end to work out to the blitzing player from depth. Now, let's say he's on the line and he's blitzing from the line. I want 73 to block the defensive end. I want the tight end to be one-on-one with the blitzing guy off the edge. Simple enough to ask, I would think. If he is on the line and he's blitzing, I want 73 to take him. And then it's okay for my tight end to be one-on-one with that defensive end. That's all I want to have happen when I block my tight end. I want my guys to be put in places to be successful, put in position to be successful. the way the blocks are right now, it isn't, because you have my tight end one-on-one with, it could be that team's best rush player. He's one-on-one. And if I wanted him one-on-one, I would have subbed him in at offensive tackle. Last but not least, guys, I believe this is number 5, I think. Idea to fix the offensive line pass protection further better so that you will never have to touch it again. You will only have to make minor tweaks. This is a very important idea. It's brand new in a way to Madden. It's kind of old and kind of new in a way. But I feel like this takes the best of both worlds of everything that the running back can do in pass protection and gives him all the options. Now, what I want is to add another screen to, you know, how you tell your running back to block. As soon as you hit the block button, it'll give you these 4 options that you see on the right of the screen: float, block middle, block left, or block right. Now, let me go through all of those options. Now, float. Float is literally what we have right now as far as running back blocking. Float kind of, you know, as soon as the ball snaps, he kind of, you know, floats around back here looking for work. Whoever rushes in first, whether it be a blitzer or a block shed, he takes. I feel like that has, you know, great pros and great cons to it. Now, the pro is that he's not committed anywhere. He can attack anything that comes through, that comes around the quarterback. Now, that's also a con as well, that he isn't committed anywhere. So that if something comes off the left, yeah, he may get it, but he may get it like right in the face of the quarterback. Something may come off the right, something comes off the right, it may come right to the quarterback's face before he picks it up. You're not superly secure in a way that I know he's getting something, but you're secure in the fact that he's protecting me, whether it be from a rusher or from a block shed. So that's the pros and cons with float. That's why I want float to stay within the Madden ethos in running back pass protection. The next option is block middle. Now, what I want my block middle to be is, as soon as the ball is snapped, if your running back is set to block, he avoids the quarterback, but then he ends up posting up maybe about 2 yards behind the center. His job is to take whatever comes, whether it be a block shed or a free rusher coming up the middle. That's his job. Mainly, in being realistic, it'll probably be a block shed. So he is all this other stuff that isn't float is, in my opinion, it's anti-block shed. It's block shed counters. So you have, you know, your slide protection, your ID to Mike, your big on big protection, which I mentioned. That's for blitzers, in my opinion. This can be used for blitzers too, but this is mainly block shed defense to defend it, if that makes any sense. So block middle, as soon as the ball snaps, he posts up very shortly behind the center. He takes on whatever comes. He's not double teaming anybody. He's just taking on whatever comes from the middle. Now, the pro is he takes what comes in the middle, whether it be a block shed or a rusher. Now, the con to that is, which adds the chess match into it, is that he's oblivious to anything that comes on the outsides. That's not his job. He's not worried about it. So you, as the offensive player that sets the protection, that sets everything going, you have to understand, do I want him to do a specific job? Yes. Do I want him to post up in the middle? Yes, that's what I want him to do. I want him to take away anything that comes in the middle. By telling him to do that, he's oblivious to anything on the outsides. I feel like that's a good pro and a good con for this feature. Now, block left. Block left and block right are essentially the same thing, just on the opposite sides. Now, what I'm pitching for block left and block right is, let's say it's block left. Let's say as soon as the ball is snapped, homeboy right here posts up right here. the outside edge of that tackle. If there is not a blitzer coming off the left, let's say this picture is just what it is, and that defensive end is there, I want him, the running back, to double team that defensive end with that tackle. Now, what that is doing is that's quote unquote eliminating the block shed from that particular person. Now, if there is a blitz that comes from the left side, let's say from him right here, let's say he blitzes, that tackle is one-on-one with that defensive end, and the running back picks up the blitz coming off the left. That's the pro to this. The pro is, if it's not a blitz, it's completely attacking the block shed. It's a double team. You should not get a block shed unless it's, you shouldn't get an instant shed. Let me just be clear with that. If it's a rush coming off the end from a linebacker or a defensive back or whoever, he picks that guy up. That's the pro. Now the con is he is oblivious to anything that happens in the middle. Anything in the middle, he's oblivious. Anything to the right, he's oblivious. And the same thing as if it's block right. If it's block right, he is posting up on the edge, whether it be the tackle or the tight end, and he double teams whoever they are blocking. So they are eliminated from an insta-shed. They can't get insta-shedded. And if it's a blitz coming off that same side, they take that blitz. That's the pro, and that's the con. I feel like that's very balanced. Block middle, block left, and block right are insta-shed defense, insta-shed offense in a way. So they're protecting you against the insta-sheds. And they're giving you pass protection as far as, blitzers coming too. Free runners coming. So there's a pro and con to all of these things. So I feel it's very easy to add to the game. Like I said, all you have to do is when you hit the Y button, I forgot the hot route button. Once you hit the hot route button, the Y button, you hit the running back icon. Let's say for example, it's RB, the running back icon, RB, for example. And then when you would normally hit the trigger to block, you hit the trigger, and then another screen opens with all of these things right here. And then you select from that. It's only one more screen. So this running back idea mixed in with big on big blocking, mixed in with proper ID to mic, mixed in with just better targeting with slide protection, mixed in with better tight end blocking, fixing that. All of these things combined, literally everything should be handled in pass protection. There's an option for every single thing, and everything that you have as an option on offense has a counter on defense. It adds to the chess match. It adds to the mind games that I played during a Madden game. Because right now, protections are just on autopilot. Whether it be from the novices or the casuals that play, they literally just go up to the line, don't care about protections whatsoever. They don't do anything. They just snap the ball. So it's on autopilot that way. And on the high level Madden player level, it's on autopilot because they'll either come up to the line, slide left, block the running back. That's it. They don't really care too much about, protections, because it's either going to be one or two different protections that they're going to use for every single play. So this adds variety, it adds thought, it adds accountability to both the offense and the defense, because the defense can still win. It adds all that to the offensive line pass protection scheme. So in my opinion, take a look at that. I feel like all these things combined will create the perfect offensive line protection. Colonel, I'm out.